Spoke about my husband last night. She said, I should Charles. They continue to talk about me. I just said, okay, let me record them.
Hey y'all, it's me, Tony, and I'm back. Like the video and subscribe so you can stay tuned. But listen up, I had to hop on here because I was so disgusted with Porsha. Porsha Williams, Porsha Gubadia, the princess of Thoughtlandia, honey. Y'all favorite, Porsha Williams, she's catching heat today on this channel. So if you're a super fan of Porsha and you don't see anything wrong with her behavior, then you might as well hop off now because I'm about to get her together. When Porsha first came on the show, she came on in season 5 of Real Housewives of Atlanta, and she has such a personality that seems so fragile, naive, young, easy to control. She wasn't really that young. I think she was like 33 or something, but she just seemed very green, like very fresh, and she came off extremely innocent and not that bright. So a lot of the women had a tendency of just kind of, walking all over her in a sense. And I think a lot of us felt bad for Porsha because we felt that she was being bullied or, constantly ganged up on or, talked about, even with her first husband, Cordell Stewart. But it's like the Porsha today has completely did a 360. And at first, I used to think that Porsha was just someone who was good and maybe they just, sometimes when bad things happen to you, you end up just becoming very mean and bitter. But honestly, I feel like that Porsha from season 5 was just an act. I dug up some of Porsha's past. Porsha has always been into men with money, and she has this thing where she plays a role with whatever man she's with, okay? Now, when she was with Cordell Stewart, her first husband, she played that perfect wife, housewife, very polished. I listened to my man, this and that. That was just Porsha's way of securing her bag. Whatever man Porsha is with, she matches his energy. When she was with Dennis, she was club hopping, bottle popping, getting it in on the first night they hung out, according to her. That she turns into whatever man she's with. When she was with Simon, she became a whole African. Porsha has multiple personalities, okay? And it's just getting more and more obvious as the seasons go on, okay? Now, the reason we're even talking about Porsha is because the fans, the viewers, and me, myself, we are sick of the charades, okay? Porsha just said on this recent episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta, according to Angela and Kelly, because this is when the cameras were down, they're saying that Porsha said, oh, I would F Charles. Angela better watch out because I would F Charles Oakley. Have y'all seen Charles Oakley? But then again, when has Porsha ever thought about looks when it comes to, dating, whatever? But still, Porsha, you're saying you would screw one of your castmates' husbands again. And before y'all do that whole thing, Porsha and Fallon were not friends. Look, this is them hanging out outside of filming, okay? Fallon told you guys herself that they used to hang out. They literally would borrow each other's clothes, go out together. These two, whether they were friends or fake friends, they had somewhat of an alliance or whatever, if you don't want to call it a friendship. They had a connection, basically, okay? And in the middle of that connection, Porsha decided to talk to Fallon's husband while Fallon and her husband were having issues. Who knows? Porsha could have been the whole issue, because the whole thing was Fallon was saying he was never home. He was always out. He started cheating first. I have a feeling that he was cheating with Porsha. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Porsha and him started hooking up before he even could get divorced. They announced their engagement before he was divorced. You don't just up and engage someone within a month, according to her. I don't believe that. I don't think for 1 second Porsha and Simon got engaged in less than 30 days of knowing each other. Those two allegedly had been hooking up and Porsha had been playing in Fallon's face, okay? This girl is a proud mistress. She doesn't care if she's friends with someone. If she sees something that she wants, if your man has a little bread on him, or if she don't like you, she's gonna come for your man. That's what she does. That's Porsha. And now she's doing it to Angela Oakley. Except the only difference is, I think Angela's husband is so mean, he wouldn't even want nothing with Porsha because he's already heard how, Porsha has been talking about him and Angela's been letting him know whatnot. He's not going to fall for it, okay? He's not dumb. I just don't think he would. But Portia's disgusting. And Shemia, you sit up there and co-sign Portia's behavior. You don't realize it, but you're next. Porsha has made it clear that she doesn't want your friendship. The only thing that's next is her trying to flirt with your man. What else has she not done to you? She's made it very clear she does not want your friendship, Shemia. You're next. You think that Porsha doesn't see you're living better than her? You have a nicer home. Your man has more money. You really think that Porsha's going to spare you? And to make it even worse for Shemia's karma when it comes to Porsha, Porsha says that Shemia is the one who hooked her up with Simon. Now, y'all just saw that picture of Porsha, Fallon, and Shemia hanging out at the club outside of Real Housewives of Atlanta filming. How in the world do you hook up your best friend with someone's husband, and you used to hang out with the wife? Really, Shemia? Now, I used to feel bad for Shemia. I really did, because I understood the dynamic for a long time that Porsha has always been trying to, level up to Shemia's level. But now I'm starting to see these two are very similar. They go after wealthy men. They don't care who he is, who he's with, allegedly, that they go for what they want, which is wealth. And it was really season 13 when we noticed a shift in Porsha at that reunion, I think. That's when we really started to notice a whole new her. And who knows, maybe at that time of that reunion in season 13, she was more than likely already messing with Simon. But we really saw a more cold side of her that had this arrogance. And honestly, that may have been Porsha all along, but I feel like she started to really show her true colors. We have to remember at that same reunion, Porsha had been battling with Kenya and being exposed by Kenya for allegedly sleeping with Bolo the stripper. So at this point, Porsha knows her reputation is, kind of out the window. Like, it is what it is. You've been, everyone has been putting out your dirt on the show for a while now. People kind of have this picture of you as a, woman who gets around. And I think at this point, Porsha just said, y'all are going to throw this on me. Y'all are going to throw my dirt up. I might as well live in it fully. And maybe she decided at that moment, you guys already think I'm a you-know-what. Let me just fully be a you-know-what. But I'm going to be the best you-know-what, if you know what I'm saying. So Porsha decided to take her Princess of Thoughtlandia role to a whole nother degree and just start proudly claiming that she wants to sleep with people's husbands. And this is not really new, because Claudia Jordan has been saying that Porsha likes to sleep with people's husbands. Claudia was saying that back in season 7 of Real Housewives of Atlanta. They all say that Porsha sleeps with married men for money. And this whole time, we used to defend Porsha thinking she was so innocent. We never knew that. Kenya, Cynthia, Claudia, they weren't lying. Even when her and Candy fell out, Candy was alluding to Porsha and Porsha's tricky ways. This whole time, Porsha has been undercover, conniving, sneaky, manipulative, just deceitful in the most snakish ways. And I'm wondering, at what point is she going to get checked? When she was on previous episodes of Real Housewives of Atlanta, they didn't let Porsha slide. They, as in Cynthia, Kenya, Nene, Sheree, Marlo, I mean, none of these ladies would let Porsha cha-cha slide on them. But these new ladies, except Angela Oakley, these new ladies are almost afraid of her. Or they're thinking, oh, she's like the most OG on the show, so I have to, stay on her good side and what. No, y'all need to hold her butt accountable because the old Porsha knew not to play with those other ladies. Do you guys think in any part of your mind that Porsha would say in front of Nene or nearby where Nene can hear, or even to a group that they can go back and tell Nene Leakes, oh, I would sleep with Greg. Nene better watch out because I'll sleep with Greg. Do y'all think that Porsha would ever try Nene like that? Do y'all think Porsha would even try Cynthia like that? If she said that in front of Marlo, what do you think would have happened? My point is, this show is going down a rabbit hole. You guys keep putting the wrong cast on. It's okay to have villains on the show. We need villains, right? Porsha's a villain, but you need people to hold them accountable. It would be the same thing with Kenya, the same thing with whoever it is. If you guys have someone with a bold personality and no one wants to fight them back, it just gets old. Right now, Angela is the only one battling Porsha. Drew is too scary for some reason to even fully go at it with Porsha, which is sad. Drew, you've been on for a few seasons now. You can really step on Porsha's neck if you want to, because at this point, Porsha has lost all credibility. Porsha is a proud man stealer, husband stealer, and I'm sorry, just the way she acts with her baby daddy, all that controlling nonsense, her trying to fight Dennis's mom on TV. I just think at this point, guys, like Porsha's character is just trash. And I'm sorry, until she really heals and gets it together, I just don't see it for her.
All I can remember is Porsha saying, she better stop before I her husband.
Our car will be here in 15 minutes.
You better listen when Porsha says she want to your husband, because as history has shown us, she will your husband.
Angela didn't lie. History has shown us that's what Porsha likes to do. But y'all comment on this video, subscribe to my channel. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys feel that Porsha has changed at all? Or do you think she's always been this way secretly? Well, stay tuned. I'm going to definitely review this episode of Real Housewives so you guys can have an update on everything that's been going on in case you missed it, or if you just want to hear my recap. Also, guys, would y'all like to hear more about Potomac? Because there's been more things going on about Potomac, and I wanted to speak on Miss Ashley Darby speaking on Candace. So let's get into that next, guys. Like, subscribe so you don't miss a video. Stay tuned. Bye.